My name is Thabitha, and this is my story. I was only 15 years old when my life was shattered in a moment. My parents, who were the anchors of our little family, died in a car accident, leaving me and my two younger sisters, aged 12 and 9, orphaned. The pain of their loss was indescribable, but what followed their death was equally heart-wrenching. Relatives swarmed in like vultures, taking most of our belongings and leaving us with almost nothing. My uncles even fought over who would take control of the house. In the end, God miraculously intervened, and none of them succeeded in taking our home. But none of them wanted to adopt us or even help us survive. They left us completely alone, 3 young girls trying to make sense of the devastation around us. 3 days after the funeral, we ran out of food. That night, my little sister, while sweeping one of the rooms, found a torn piece of paper. It was from a page of the Bible. On it were the words of Psalm 68, verse 5, "A father of the fatherless and a judge of the widows is God in his holy habitation." When she read it out loud, something stirred in my heart. I told my sisters, God is speaking to us. He is telling us that he is our Father now. In that moment of desperation, we decided to claim God's promise in prayer. Together, the 3 of us knelt on the floor and prayed for 3 hours, pouring out our hearts to God. We told him we believed in his promise to be our Father. We cried, we pleaded, and we trusted. That night, we went to sleep on empty stomachs, lying on the cold floor since the beds had been taken by relatives. That night, I had a dream that I will never forget. In the dream, an angel appeared to me, glowing with a light that I can't describe. He said, "Thabitha, God has heard your prayer. He will take care of you and your sisters. All that was taken will be restored." When I woke up, I felt a peace that I hadn't felt in days. Early the next morning, we heard a knock at the door. When I opened it, there stood a man holding a basket of food. He said, "I heard your parents passed away 5 days ago, and I brought you some food." I couldn't believe it. I turned to call my sisters, but when I looked back, the man was gone. We knew immediately that it was the angel of God who had left the basket of food, just as I had seen in the dream. Later that day, a local businessman came to visit us. He explained that someone who had attended the funeral told him about our situation. As he listened to our story, he promised to support us until we completed university. He also hired lawyers to help us recover the property our relatives had taken. It was as though everything the angel had said was unfolding before our eyes. Over the next few weeks, we watched as God's promises came true. The businessman became like a guardian to us, and the legal process restored everything that had been taken. We returned to school, and for the first time since the accident, we felt hopeful about the future. Today, every day is a prayer day for my sisters and me. We never forget that God is the Father of the fatherless. He proved his love and faithfulness to us when we had no one else to turn to. As I share this testimony, I want to ask you, have you experienced the power of prayer and God's ability to care for the vulnerable? How has trusting God changed your life? Let's reflect on the truth that God is always near, especially to those in need. If this story has touched your heart, please like, comment, and share it with others.